Hello, welcome to the Daily Devotion. I'm Kathy Morris, pastor of the Dixon United Methodist Church. Over this last week, we have been enjoying some rain, much needed relief after the long, hot, dry months that we have had. And indeed, we are all feeling as though that weariness and downheartedness that come with the long, hot, dry months lifting. And so something that we really do look forward to this time of year, to have the rains come. What we all know is that water is precious, and water is a precious gift to us of God's grace. In our Bible reading for today, the element of water is central to the story. In this, we hear the story of Jesus washing the feet of his disciples. He takes some water, places it into a basin, and then washes his disciples' feet. In this act of humble service, we see the depth of Jesus' love revealed. I'm reading from the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verses 2 through 5. And during the supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that he had tied around him. It's amazing to think of what it must have been like to have Jesus wash the disciples' feet. Just to imagine that we would be one of those disciples and to have Jesus washing our feet. There is a liturgy that comes from the Eastern Orthodox tradition of the Christian Church. It reflects upon the significance of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. This liturgy connects the water that is poured into the basin with the waters of creation. God, who is the master of all the waters of creation, has given this gift of water that is poured into the basin and is used to wash the disciples' feet. The wisdom of God that retains the untamed fury of the waters that are above the firmament, that sets a bridle on the deep and keeps back the seas, now pours water into a basin, and the Master washes the feet of his servants. The Master shows to his disciples an example of humility. He who wraps the heaven in clouds girds himself with a towel. And he in whose hand is the life of all things kneels down to wash the feet of his servants. For a prayer exercise, pour some water into a bowl and hold a towel. And as you do this, take time to reflect upon Christ, to reflect upon his love for you, and to remember that Christ is the one who rules the waves, who rules the seas, and all of that power is made available to you in humble service. And then consider for yourself that this is an example that should guide us in all that we do.